Hi everyone, it's Blessed EP here from Melbourne, Australia. Now listen, I've got to tell you, all over the world, you got book authors, Beatle book authors. There's so many Beatle books coming out, Jude, I can't keep up. But let me tell you, one of the greatest books, one of the most informative books you could ever read are Jude Southerland Kessler's books, and there's going to be 9 of them. And what numbers come out now? Is it number 5?
5.
And that's in part 2. There's 2 books, isn't it?
Yes. It's 5.1 and 5.2, 2 books. Because
exactly. Let's have a look. Now, tell me how
go.
sales are going with that now.
We have sold half the books in the first month. So they are, but thanks to people like you who put the word out there and told people and shared it. And thanks to all my wonderful readers. Some of them have been with me for 15 years as we've gone through.
Of course, now hold up the book one more time, because I love the art that your husband did. And I want you to tell them where they can go and order the book now, because everyone's going to see the 600 Plastic EP episode. So tell them where they buy it from.
JohnLennonSeries.com, JohnLennonSeries.com. And it's a little bit less. The books are generally $29.95, but this one, because it's a 2-parter and people are going to have to buy 2 books, we did for $24.95. And this book is the first part of 1965. So it takes you from January the 1st, when they are doing another Beatles Christmas show at the Hammersmith Odeon, up to the time that they step on the plane to go to America for the 1965 North American tour. So you've got Ringo getting married, John and Cynthia going on skiing holiday in Switzerland, the Bahamas when the Beatles were there to make Help, and when they go to Austria to do those wonderful skiing scenes in Austria, when they come back to Salisbury Plain and nearly freeze to death making Help, and when they are in the studio in Twickenham Studios making the movie. Then they are nominated for the MBE. They go into the studio to make the soundtrack for Help. They are so busy. Paul writes Yesterday, and they all decide it should be a solo song, but John is secretly a little bit jealous about that, and a little bit upset about it. He tries not to show it. And they go on the world tour to France, Italy, and Spain. I mean, it's 800.
I just want to say it's jam-packed, the book. And let me tell you, to buy that book for $25 US, hold it up again, that'll take you, how many years did it take you to write part 1?
Part 1 took 20 years.
And let me explain this to you. You got to read it. You got to proof it to make sure it's all right. It goes through so many generations of readings. I know what it's like. The time and effort that you put into the book, hold up the thickness of the book, Jude, right?
Yeah, it's 820 pages, and it's written as if you're reading a novel. It looks like you're reading a novel, but everything is documented and footnoted. So there are 4,400 footnotes. And at the end of every chapter, I tell you all the sources, where I found everything. And then I ask questions that I could not fit into the chapter and give you extra information. And there are QR codes that if you want to see the concert that I just described, you click on the QR code and you watch the concert.
Well, my point is you can't buy a sandwich for $25, right? So to buy the book, as I said to you, go ahead and buy it. Don't waste your time, right? You're going to read it for the next 100 years. Like, you got to understand how in-depth your books are, and that's what makes it so great. Don't rush. Read 5 pages a day. Have a coffee. Relax at home. And give me the link one more time before we talk now about other things.
JohnLennonSeries.com. And this is 1965. I still have some of volume 4, which is 1964, the penultimate year of Beatlemania. But You've
still got my signed copy, haven't you?
I do. In fact, it's sitting right
Let's
there.
have a look at it, because that's my 600th birthday present. That's it. Let's hope the mail comes down the prices. I don't care if you send it by canoe, Jude.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about talking to you? Look, I look back on all the shows we've done, how we've done the Beatles albums, side 1, side 2. And what happens is now in 2021, I know how busy you are. And with your podcast friend Lania, You guys are like right out there, and I love it. You've got your conventions going. You've got things going with Ivor. We're more busier now than ever. And when I look back, these things are on the net, always to see. Now, I want to quickly ask you about the Peter Jackson documentary. Everyone's waiting to see it. You've got Disney Plus, I'll take it.
Oh, yes, I can't wait. Every day I say to my husband, don't forget, you've got to get Disney Plus. He's like, I know, you've asked me like 45 times. So I'm going to be glued. My kids were supposed to be here for Thanksgiving. And last Sunday, my daughter-in-law got COVID. She's doing fine. She's doing great. But of course, you know, they're not coming. And so it will be the Beatles for Thanksgiving. Now I have a question for you first. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations on 600 shows. That is crazy. But I know that you are also a Monkees fan. And so my question is, if you are for people who are Monkees fans, is it the same as it is in the Beatles world where everybody has a different monkey that they're, you know, that's their person? And how did you become a Monkees fan?
That's a great question, Jude, but I've got to explain this to you if I can. I've got my own take on things. You've got to understand, it's 1964 here in Melbourne, Australia. And as you know, Jimmy Nicol is here. They do one of their greatest concerts at Festival Hall, Dudley Street, West Melbourne. Now, what you got to understand is, I'm going to give you the insight of my life and the Beatles and then the Monkees. So we start at the beginning. 1964, I am 6 years old. So you got to understand, what can I understand about the Beatles? I remember watching the TV. I remember the faces. I remember the 100,000 people on the television in Exhibition Street, looking up the balcony there where the 5 Beatles were there with Jimmy Nicol.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also,
oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, that was on the television live.
Oh, my God.
Didn't you know that, Jude?
The
5 of them came out on the balcony of the Southern Cross, filmed live on television. And there's 100,000 people down there. Anyway, there's all the film of that. And they've got people in trees. And my sister-in-law, she was a baby, and the uncle was holding her up on the shoulders to see the Beatles on the balcony, true. And what you don't know is, on the television, it was like Channel 7 showing it live. Now, at the front of the Southern Cross Hotel, it's all glass. And what the problem was, the crowd was pushing against this glass, and it wasn't safety glass. Right. And they were worried that people were going to die. Oh, yeah, sure. All I remember that stood out, that this is like unbelievable. Someone's going to get hurt. And it was on the TV showing it live because this glass panels were so big and all the fans were pushed up to the hotel. I don't know if you know that story, but that's true.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Also, another story, Ringo Starr had his St. Christopher medal ripped from his neck. And then he made a plea, said, look, I've got to have that medal back. If you've taken the medal, please come and see me, whatever. No problem. Just give it back to me because it's sentimental. It's mine. Do you know that story?
I do know that story.
Okay.
In fact,
a lot of people
don't
don't know those stories.
Yeah.
But because I was here at the time, I can say it. Now, I remember From Me to You being played when it first came out on the radio, and I'm so young, right?
Yeah, you were 6. I mean, I can understand that. You're 6, you're not into the mania.
I don't understand the music, but I don't understand.
Yeah, sure.
There's no understanding at 6 years old. So I remember hearing specifically From Me to You. And what a song, even at 6 years old, I understood that song's so advanced. Like, there's no song on the radio like it. So anyway, let's move forward now. It's 1967. I'm 8 to 9 years old. So I understand now music. 20th of July on our television night, coloured black and white TV. Colour didn't come till 1974. So I went to elementary school. I say it's elementary school, but we call it state school. And while I'm at school, they had a program in the afternoon called Dark Shadows. That was scary with Barnabas Jones. Right, but then the Monkees were on. 20th of July in Melbourne, shown. I didn't know anything about it because at that time we never had a TV guide, Jude. We only had 4 television stations.
Yes, I'm here.
Somebody told me elementary school, have you seen the monkeys? And I go, what are you talking about, monkeys? Monkeys what? Monkeys at the zoo, monkeys in a tree. What? Because I'm thinking monkeys, EYS. You guys know there's a TV show called The Monkeys. And by the time I walked home, took half an hour, I never got to see the show. So what he said to me, straight after school, I live 5 minutes from school, come to my house, I'll put the monkeys on, right? I'll go, sure. So that afternoon, straight after school, 3:30, I think it was, or 3 o'clock, went straight to his house, puts on the TV, hey, with the monkeys. And I remember which episode it was. It was the pilot episode where they're running in the hotel.
Yes.
They're wearing monkey masks on top and they're playing ping pong and the ball goes in the security guard and they're falling over slapstick. That was the start of the monkeys. Now, the monkeys changed my life. Now, what I want to say is, this is how I say it. So 8, 9 years old, the monkeys are my generation. They're my group. My sister, she grows up, ABBA's her group.
Well,
my brother, Michael Jackson. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're born and then you first understand music, you have your own group or artist.
Yeah.
That's your introduction to music. But
no
matter where you start, what artist, you end up at the Beatles. So if you start
I love that.
you end up at the Beatles. If you start with Michael Jackson, you end up at the Beatles. Everybody ends up at the Beatles. That's my scenario, and that is the truth.
That is the best story. That's the best way to tell it that I've ever heard. Everybody ends up at the Beatles. Oh my gosh, that is perfect.
I nailed it, but it's the truth. Because I'll tell you now, I'm on Monkey Mania Radio. It's a radio station. All you do is, I want you to do it. Download an app on your phone. It's called Live 365. Download it. Type in the word monkey, MONKEE. And then Monkey Mania Radio comes on. Every Saturday and Sunday, I got a 4-hour radio show, right? Starts 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. ET time, Eastern time, New York time. I do the show with Robin B. We have a laugh. They play monkey songs. They play everyone associated with the monkeys. And I have a ball, and I have my own catch cry, and it goes, I go monkey nuts for the monkeys, right? Like I got these different sort of 60 type catch cries, like Boss Radio used to be, right?
Yeah.
In the 60s. So I love doing the show, and I just want you to listen to the show. So the show plays on a Saturday, 2 to 6. It's repeated at night. Then it's repeated Sunday, the same time, 2 to 6, and then at night. So one show is repeated 4 times if you miss it.
So for everybody listening, they first go to Live 365.
Download the app in the phone, type in the word monkey, MONKEE, and automatically you see this red logo, right? Monkey Mania Radio. Press play and you're playing. Have you got your phone with you?
I do, actually. Let's
do me a favor. We're going to show people how easy it is to do it. Download Live 365, the app. Takes a minute.
Live 365. Well, while I'm doing this.
That's all right. You do it, Jude. But in the meantime, I just want to say, we're looking forward to the Peter Jackson documentary. I want to say that myself and Chachi were lucky enough to interview Michael Lindsay Hogg. And I'll give him so much credit for what he did to film everything so that film can be used now for the Peter Jackson documentary.
There you
go.
Have you
downloaded it?
Live 365, and it says I can listen now.
That's right, but you got to type in the word monkey to find the station.
Okay, I will do that right this minute.
MONKEE.
MONKEE.
That's it. Does it come up a red logo like the monkeys?
Monkeys. My spell check doesn't like the way I'm spelling it.
Doesn't matter. It's MONKEE.
Oh, I know, but it doesn't like that.
Got to be the Live 365 app. You've got to download that.
Oh, you have to do the app. I don't see the app.
You got to download an app.
Oh, in the app store.
And download
I got
that
it
first.
It's downloading right now.
Okay, well, wait. Only takes a second.
I'm getting it. So that's what it's going to look like when you
That's
go
it.
get
Have you
the app.
downloaded it?
Double click to install, which I'm doing, and it's doing it. Done. It's installing it right now, everybody.
Won't take a second. We'll wait. We'll show people how to do it.
While I'm doing this, who is your favorite monkey?
Quite honestly, I'd say Mickey Dolenz. But
Really?
I want to say something, Jude.
Why? Why?
You
Mickey,
like
why
this?
Mickey?
I don't know. I'll tell you in a minute. Do you
Okay.
like my skull?
Ah!
Watch.
Scary.
We had Halloween. Have a look.
I don't know about that. I think it's terrible.
Is that good or what? But let me tell you, you know what? As I do these podcasts and interviews, are you watching Jude?
Yeah, hang on, I'm trying to see if it's downloading.
Yeah, but while I'm watching while I'm doing the podcast, watch this, Jude. He'll take over from me, right?
No, you're much better looking than that hideous creature. That is some kind of hideous creature. Okay, it's not downloading. And
Okay, once it downloads, not a problem. Just type in MONKEE.
Okay, I'll put it right here and wait for it
And you'll
to
find it, and then you'll
download.
play it, and you'll love it. Now, as I said, the journey that we go on, I started doing podcasts in March 2020. It's 20 months. I hit 600 shows in 20 months, which equates to 300 shows every 10
Woo.
months.
Woo,
No big
that's a
deal, but
lot.
all I'm saying is we're all here to entertain because we're all podcasters. We're all stars of the net. And you know what? It's all about networking and knowing yourself and knowing Lanier, knowing Ivor Davis, because you introduced me to Ivor Davis, knowing Leslie Cavendish, knowing Chachi LaPret. As I said, we've got and even Ivor said, he said, we've got a fantastic group of podcasters that he feels we're like family. And we are like family.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, even though the show, we're talking about the 600 show, your books, I have them here and I treasure them so much because these books are above the ordinary. It's like, you know, when you go into the universe and you go into something that's beyond the normal, that's the only way I can describe your books, Jude. I do not know anyone that writes so much about John Lennon and the Beatles. And how can I say, so meticulously writes every little detail. I don't know how you do it. And it's a credit to you. And as I said, people got to go out, buy the book. The other books I take it have sold out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is that right?
1, 2, and 3 are sold out. And 4, I have maybe 30, 25 copies left.
Well, 25 copies. They've got to get number 4. Then they can get 5. Give them the link again to buy 4 and 5.
JohnLennonSeries.com. And I'm having no luck on this downloading, but
That's all right. You work that out. But let me tell you now, how much is the book? Volume
24.95, and you will go through all, like, for example, when the Beatles were nominated for an MBE, a lot of people don't realize that. They know John didn't want the MBE and he eventually sent it back, but people don't realize that he actually was so close to turning it down that Brian worked out a plan B. Brian had already made a plan for how they were going to refuse the MBE. So that's how close they were to not accepting it. And Cynthia Lennon is the reason that they accepted it, because she, at breakfast one morning, and she talks about this in her book, said to John, if you don't accept it, the others won't accept it. They always do what you do, and they want it. You can't be selfish and do what you want to do. Paul wants it. George wants it. Ringo wants it. Why would you keep them from getting something that means so much to them? So he went along with it. But he was that close to saying no. And that was one of the most interesting things I discovered when I was doing the research on this book. I mean, they were going to say no.
Did you also hear about a Grammy Award? I think it was an award. I'm not sure if it's a Grammy Award, but he sent it to a school charity or something and they sold it. Yeah. Are you aware of that story? Yes,
and he gave us Ivor Novello Award. Some people from Ireland, John always wanted to settle in Ireland. He and Yoko were going to retire there. He had bought a little island and he considered himself to be an Irish artist instead of an English artist. And he had written to Edward MacLeod, who wrote Irish families and their origins and said, why don't you have me listed as an Irish composer? He is now, after his death, MacLeod added him. But a group of people from Ireland stopped by his house just unexpectedly, kind of gate crash, knocked on the front door. He went in the house and got his Ivor Novello Award and gave it to them to take back to Ireland because he wanted it to be in his heart's home country. So, I mean, you know, John was not big on awards. That was not his thing. He was not here to be lauded by the public. What he was trying to do, and he tells you in the White Album, is reach his mother, reach Julia. Half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it just to reach you, Julia. He's trying to sing for her and show her that he should have been loved. He should have been cared for. He should have been with her because he's smart and he's lovable and he's worthy. And that little boy is always singing for the mother he lost. So he didn't care about awards. It's not his thing, you know. It's not. So
here's a question I've got to ask you. We'll ask each other questions before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Of the early Beatles, right? What is your favorite song? I've got to grab something in a minute from the Please Please Me album. Just tell me the name of your favorite song.
Well, I'll tell you my favorite song, and it's not from the Please Please Me album. It's Tell Me Why. And the song that's right next to it on the EMI Parlophone album is I'll Cry Instead. If you listen to those two songs, and it's funny that they're back to back, you will know all you need to know about John Lennon. That gives you everything you want to know because he tells you my heart was broken. She left me. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I'll apologize. I'll do anything to get her back. And you got to understand that when he finds out his mother's living only 1.5 miles away from where he's living with his aunt and uncle, and he finds out that she has 2 children, she has 2 daughters, he realizes it's not children she didn't want, it's me. She only gave me away. And for the rest of his life, the songs that he sings are about how she left him, how he wants her love, how he's miserable, his heart is broken, he'll apologize, he'll do anything, just take me back. And those 2 songs tell the story. There
right.
You
do you see this album, Mono 1963, 3rd or 4th edition, Please Please Me? I bought it. Have a look what it says there. I'm going to read it to you.
I saw you and Leslie talking about that.
There's to Gary, good listening, John, 3 dots, Liverpool, and then where Twisted Shadows, there's 3 dots there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Now,
I agree with Leslie. I think that might be, Leslie said it might be a face, you know, like John's single line drawings, but I also agree with Leslie. You probably need to get the signature authenticated.
Yeah, I need to get it authenticated.
Yeah.
But as I said, when I saw it, no matter if it's real or fake, or someone signed it, or another John signed it from Liverpool, this album has a story to tell, and we will find out. And all I want to say is thank you again, Jude, for being on the 600 show. It's been great. As we keep going forward now towards 2022, and we wait and watch the Peter Jackson documentary, Plastic EP, thanks you.
I thank you. You are always so fun, so full of life, so exuberant, and such a great bright light, as is Vicky. Love you both. Congratulations on 600.
Thank you again, Jude, and to everyone out there. We'll see you soon on our podcast. See ya.
Shine on.